ready.
All right, we're on air.
Live from the Lucas Oil Studios, it's Horsepower Hump Day. Because every NASCAR fan needs a push of the old bumper to get them over that hump.
Stop. Oh, my God.
Here's Kenny, Crash, Richie, and Cole. Let's get humping, boys.
Freak Nation, going to be a fun show for Horsepower Hump Day. Vin Diesel celebrates his 58th birthday, I believe, on Friday. And we're going to flash back in one of our many interviews of the last 25 years of Speed Freaks, where I had a chance to catch up with Vinny D for the grand opening of the Los Bandoleros short film, part of the whole Fast and Furious extravaganza. He'll be joining us sometime in the next hour. I'm not going to say so, because we ain't going longer than a freaking hour there, Freak Nation. Although we do have a shit ton to talk about. NASCAR dropping a little bit of news, a little bit of non-news just before going live. Is that right, Crasher?
Well, it's not NASCAR dropping it. It's just Kelly Crandall with Racer Magazine said that I'm going to botch it if I don't absolutely read it word for word. But it's basically there is a seal in the NASCAR's decision. So let's go for it here. Hold on.
Got it.
It looks like, this is Kelly Crandall's tweet specifically, it looks like NASCAR's response to the new restraining order and preliminary injunction filing by 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports, their new filing was Monday because their old one expires right now, actually, 5 p.m. Eastern time. So their old one has expired. Their new filing was Monday. NASCAR's response to that new filing is under seal. We still await the decision on these charter filings. Will 2311 and Front Row Motorsports go into the Dover weekend with charters or without charters? Will they be an open team and therefore get paid less money regardless of where they finish? Or will they be a chartered team still and get the chunky base pay that everyone that is chartered gets?
Now, Richard C. Suave, Crasher did a pretty damn good job of highlighting what this whole lawsuit has to do with. But if you would, give me about 30, 45 seconds on how we got here.
Yeah, so beginning of the year, actually end of last year, remember that the old NASCAR charter system was expiring at the end of 2024. So NASCAR and all of its teams went into negotiations to extend and or come up with a new charter agreement system for the next several years. Every team signed on to that, this new charter agreement, except for 2311 and Front Row Motorsports. So they have been in the courtroom for much of this entire year.
Since October 2nd, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to fight what they say is a monopoly on the part of NASCAR. And so this is the latest of that. There were some rumblings this week. Denny Hamlin's on his podcast that essentially that there is some new evidence that has come to light that they gave the judge that should allow them to overturn.
How can you say that? If you're in the law 101 or arrested 101 or criminal 101, you don't say shit. You don't say, "Hey, I've got new evidence." How can Hamlin say?
He didn't say what it was.
But even that, Richie, don't you want to keep NASCAR or the defendant off guard? Sorry.
Well, no, he's talking about what they said in court on Monday, knowing that their second injunction was expiring Wednesday. Right now, as we speak, they went to court to file another restraining order and temporary injunction. And with that filing, they had additional information. And so, I don't know if a NASCAR representative was in court at that time, but that's when the new discoveries were given. And so NASCAR already knows what it is. They're not hiding anything from NASCAR at this point. They don't need to.
So, as Crasher said, going into this live show on YouTube, Horsepower Hump Day, we do it every Wednesday, 5 o'clock Eastern, from the Lucas Oil Studios, Freak Nation. Don't forget Speed Freaks, Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, YouTube, and Racer on Mondays, Racer Network. As Crasher said, this has been going on since October. I'm curious how TNT will cover this, if they'll cover it at all, going into the weekend. with or without a charter.
Yes, they will. How could you not? It is arguably the biggest, even though people are dead tired of the story, it is still the biggest, well, at least top 4 biggest stories in NASCAR right now. How do you not cover it?
Really, do you think fans really give a shit about this? Is it just us trying to create some heat for this weekend?
Because at this very moment, now it's to charter or not to charter. We've gotten all those injunctions and restraining orders have expired, unless this one for Monday comes to fruition, but they've all expired. So now Dover matters, because if Monday's injunction and ruling does not work, then yeah, you've got 2311 and Front Row Motorsports that will be paid less than a third of anything they would have gotten otherwise being a chartered team.
I don't think we're going to hear anything about it on the TNT broadcast.
Oh, really?
No, because they're buddy with NASCAR, so they can't say anything about this, and they're just going to act like it didn't happen.
They would be subpoenaed.
Yeah.
They certainly could be subpoenaed, depending on how. Maybe they just touch on it on the surface. They don't. They read the headline, where we are, and that's it.
That would be good enough.
Because if you get anywhere, if Letarte or one of those other Happy Jacks jump in with an opinion, hey-oh, a little knock at the door, a little subpoena. Let's go, Skippy. Right?
I don't like that
Big
opinion of
Glenn,
yours.
chimed in on our YouTube comments and said they'll cover it about as good as they covered the Ware wreck in Chicago.
By the way, we've been off for...
does he mean NASCAR or does he mean TNT?
I think he's referring to how TNT covered.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
So we've been off... Have we been off 2 horsepowers and 2 Sundays?
No, just one Sunday
Just
and
one
2
Sunday?
horsepowers.
So to go back to the whole Ware comment, we said on Sunday night that this whole Ware situation is going to get legs. And from what I saw, again, I tried to just disembark from anything that had to do with media for quite a while with these trips that we were taking. But I couldn't escape the fact that they continue to talk about Ware later in the week. And from what I saw, no one necessarily apologized, but basically said, we'll get it right next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
NASCAR basically took on Sirius XM and then on Holler Talk as well. NASCAR was like, mea culpa, we blew it. Sorry, guys. Oopsie daisy. We didn't have the camera coverage we should have. And we're going to take a look at this and try and fix it next time. Despite that, we later learned, according to Cody Ware, that I think the steering column broke on the car, and it also cracked his Hans device. That's how hard that hit was, that front end impact during that hit at the Chicago Street Course. So, yeah, we're just like, mea culpa, sorry, forget about it, move on.
When you see people who do not even follow motorsports commenting, talk about what a horrible accident that was, and asking questions like, did he live? Did he break his neck? Did he break his back? Then it resonates with some folks. And as we saw it in full speed Sunday night on the big screen here on the table, we were all shocked by it. Again, we saw it on our phones initially, it's pretty hard to hit, and holi crap. So
yeah, but NASCAR's saying mea culpa, we messed up. They still need to be better. They need to learn from this, because still there was a failure in the communication of your corner workers to race control. Where was that lack of communication? It's not going to be, hey, we'll do better next time, if you don't fix what was broken right there, and you've already identified the break, but you still got to fix it.
Freak Nation, again, it's Horsepower Hump Day from the Lucas Oil Studios. We do it every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for you, Freak Nation. And every now and then, we're going to go to a single shot of our good friend, Cody Big Johnson. Cody?
Hello.
Cody's been a part of the Freak Nation for several months now. He's grasping the entire concept of the Freak Nation behind the scenes, but we figured since Cole Cusimano is spending, the entire weekend in jail? Or does he get out on Sunday in time to cover the race
He's
in
with
Dover?
a monster, though. So, I mean, it's a tough weekend for him.
What did you hear, Cody? Does he get out in time to cover the race Sunday, or is he going to be pent up for 48 hours there in the Hoosgow?
Well, to be honest, I got a picture from him this morning.
Right.
And he was in the lake having a beverage.
Oh.
So I wouldn't quite say he's in jail.
All right. Well, when I see the dude riding a moose the size of a freaking
that picture was totally AI. That dude totally in jail. Cole Cusimano.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do not. He's too excited for the Miles the Monster. So
he went up and got lit up on some freaking
dude,
champagne and orange juice.
Actually, dude, yeah, 100%.
Mimosas.
He got lit up on the mimosas, and he was so excited. So they caught him running nude at the Dover Motor Speedway past Miles the Monster. He said, "Oh, you can't do that."
They said that's there does not go the monster.
You can't be nude with Miles. No, that's okay. That's against the rules.
Is that a band name or a band name of a song?
Nude with Miles?
Nude with Miles, baby. Don't make me go back there. Nude with Miles, baby.
Are you Jack Black or are you Adam Sandler? I can't quite figure out the voice there.
Let me put the brakes on this and bring this moment down just a little bit. Phoenix Raceway, the closing of, 25, 24, 23, when we were all excited about going into the finale for the NASCAR season in 2023. Ty Gibbs goes out and wins the Xfinity Series. And that next morning, we find out that his dad, Coy, has passed. And I say that because up to that point, Ty Gibbs, in anything that he ran, Ty Gibbs is a very good race car driver. But his personality outshines, not in a good way, his driving capabilities. And it's rubbed a lot of people wrong. So it was really tough for me to crack on Ty Gibbs after that. Coy Gibbs, the significance that Coy Gibbs has played in motorsports for Joe Gibbs Racing outside of NASCAR, specifically in two-wheel, supercross, motocross, isn't lost on people that follow two wheels. But here we are, July of 2025, and it seems like the vitriol for Ty Gibbs is back at the levels it was pre-November at Phoenix. And I say that because the issue between Ty Gibbs and, Chris Buescher, or is it Brad Keselowski that reared its head in Sonoma over the weekend, continues to grab headlines. If you look at it, Richie, as it's black and white, you don't think Ty Gibbs did anything wrong. But if you're like many people who follow social media and don't read below the headline, they think it's all on Ty Gibbs. So, Richie, if you would, set this up for us, where we are with Ty Gibbs versus RFK Racing and how we got here.
So, Sonoma on Sunday, Ty Gibbs in the 54 and Chris Buescher in the 17 had a little incident on track. Cody, if you will, go ahead and cue that up and play it for the Freak Nation. So there's Chris Buescher bumping Ty Gibbs, moving him off the racing line, and that's why Ty Gibbs was, I think, a little bit angry with RFK surrounding the situation. Now, in
a car that looks like
Keselowski.
It could be because they do share this. They do share a Build Submarine sponsorship, so that may have been why there was some confusion here. Okay. So a little bit later on, Ty Gibbs is coming to pit road. Now, their pit box, Ty Gibbs and Brad Keselowski were actually running right behind each other in the running order, essentially, at the time of these pit stops. And so, and their pit boxes are right next to each other. The 54 pit box was right in front of the 6th pit box of Brad Keselowski. So during this cycle of pit stops, we get Ty Gibbs coming to pit road past the 6th pit box of Brad Keselowski. So here is, if you want to play the, let's play the view from the pit box stall. I think that's how I have it labeled.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is the view from the RFK cameras here. Ty Gibbs comes in, Brad Keselowski follows right away. Now you watch that in full speed, and you see there's really nothing that's going on there, right? You see that, and you just see it looks like a normal pit stop for me. Brad Keselowski continues his pit stop. There's a tire carrier going over and starting a little confrontation with the 54 pit crew. And I think that right there, that's why people are pissed off about this. If that pit crew member doesn't go over and start this, it's just a normal pit stop.
Oh.
It's just a normal pit stop and nobody cares. But if you slow it down a little bit on that pit stop, what you see is that Ty Gibbs makes contact with the tire that the tire carrier is holding. And that's why people...
Hold on, Richie.
Yeah.
All right, stop it. And take it off. Start it again. Watch how fast Ty Gibbs is coming in here. We're not... We're not speeding up the video. Damn.
Yeah, that's extremely aggressive. I mean, granted, he didn't have a pit lane speed violation, so apparently the speed is okay, but he came in aggressively. He is definitely farther to the left of the orange diagonal line than he was in other pit stops. That has been shown on social media. It's not illegal, but in old school racing, that is definitely bad sportsmanship, and that would be retaliated against. A pit crew member tried to do his retaliatory response. Unfortunately, that got him penalized. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's legally nothing wrong here by Ty Gibbs, but could he have been a little bit better of a sportsman? Yes, he could. Part of your duty as a race car driver is to be very mindful of the pit crew members in their stalls. Now, you could also go back. Was this Brad Keselowski member, the front tire changer, was he out a little too far? Yes, you can make that argument as well. But in the freaking heat of all these moments, I mean, the bottom line is it comes down to you, driver. I don't care if you're Ty Gibbs and you're a jerk of a personality or not. It still comes down to the driver. You don't see this that often. You do see it, but you don't see it that often because most drivers are a little bit more sportsmanlike.
Aren't we amazed anyway that we don't have more men and women run over in pit road?
Yes, yes. But that's because drivers are doing their job. They're being mindful. They're being respectful. This is just what happens when you're not.
All right. Cody, if that was Kyle Larson, would we even be talking about this?
No. Yes.
You think?
No, yes.
Either way, Kyle Larson is the name of the game.
Well,
so you talk about it if he did it or didn't.
Chase Elliott. Because Chase Elliott.
Most popular driver.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about that
would
one
we?
too. Probably.
Okay, we'll talk about what happened last week. Another driver did brush a tire out of a crew member's hand, and it never got discussed.
Yeah, SVG came into pit road and knocked AJ Allmendinger's tire carrier's tire out of his hand, and it didn't get this kind of, glow on it.
That kind of makes my point, though.
Yes.
This is Ty Gibbs. It gets back to my original comment of the vitriol towards Ty Gibbs is overexposed, and anything this young man does will be ridiculous. I want him to win a race, a cup race, just to compare the booze to Logano back in the day and Kyle Busch. What do you think?
Yeah.
You think they'll rival those two?
Yes, without question. Well, they don't rival them in driver intros right now, so maybe not. Maybe not. But I think it's not necessarily Ty Gibbs being just a hated personality in the sport. I think it's more what Richie was saying. Had that crew member not gone over into Ty Gibbs' pit, then this never would have been known.
That's the only reason that it became known, because originally it was reported on MRN radio that this confrontation had happened. Huh. TNT cameras missed it initially, so we were waiting. Seemingly waiting 15.
And we're back at that topic of conversation.
Yeah, seemingly waiting like 15 or 20 minutes to get a view of exactly what happened. But I don't understand why fans are so mad about this. I wish Cole was here, because Cole and I were going back in text messages, I think on Monday or Tuesday of this week, and he was like, he did it intentionally. He should be suspended. And Cole was trying to argue that, I don't want to put words in Cole's mouth, but he was trying to argue that what Ty Gibbs said here on TNT, go ahead and get this clip ready so we can hear from Ty Gibbs. And Cole was basically saying that what Ty Gibbs says here is admitting that he was guilty, and then yes, he did do what he did intentionally. Go ahead.
Walk me through what happened with the 6 on pit road. I think they were a little upset, but NASCAR said you didn't do anything wrong. We watched the replay, said you didn't do anything wrong. What was your view of what happened?
Yeah, by NASCAR's rules, I'm the lead car because I'm the pit box pass where the 6 is, and I'm in front of them as well. We have these orange lines right there, as you can see. I'm sure they'll show you after, where, if I'm behind him, I have to go around those orange lines for it to be a rule. And going in, I have the right of way. So, they're on the wall for a reason. They jump for a reason to kind of get out of the way. And those guys like to push it, and, that's kind of the consequence you pay. So it's unfortunate for them that they had a penalty. Nothing malicious. It's my right of way, so.
They push it, and that's the consequence you have to pay. Well, let me back up just a little bit. Crew members are not necessarily pushing it to get a faster pit stop these days. You see that tire changer, if we get back to that video at all, he has 2 tires in his hands. In the past, you would have everybody on the wall because nobody really had at least from my remembrance, would not have 2 tires in their hands. The reason the guy with 2 tires is back over the wall is because you'd have that amount of weight jumping up on the wall the last second, and you had knee injuries. So NASCAR now allows this to have the guy with 2 tires over the wall. Now, that person is supposed to be as flush as possible with the wall, but is he really pushing it? He's doing his freaking job. He's doing his job that NASCAR okayed. So if that crew member's in the okay, and if Ty Gibbs is in the okay, maybe something just needs to change because you can't have 2 okays and then have this many people upset.
I can't be anything but an idiot with this comment. From what you're saying, Crasher, and what Ty Gibbs said, then why didn't NASCAR fine him? He admitted going in too deep beyond those orange lines.
No. He was okay with the orange lines. He was more aggressive than he was in pit stops prior, but he was still in the okay zone.
Because it sure looks like again, you've got kind of it's like what do you call that?
A box?
No, it's not a box because there was 3 lines. And
an open box?
A staple?
There you go, a staple, where he blows over that line closest to pit road, the one closest to the wall. He goes deep on that as well. So I don't know what the rules are. I don't give a damn if there's no car in sight. If you can go that deep and cross over that orange line closest to the wall coming in to your pit stall. I don't know.
I'm gonna. This is part of my problem with this is that it's a lot of fans out there that are calling Ty Gibbs out for this. And my question to them: have you ever been in a race car? Have you ever been a member of a pit crew?
So true.
No, you haven't. So how do you know what he did was wrong at all? You've never been in that situation. You've never been a tire carrier, and how you go about completing a pit stop when you have 2 cars like the 54 and the 6 who are basically pitting back to back like each other. So the people I've been listening to all week and on Sunday are the people who have been on the pit box, who have driven a race car, and who have been members of pit crew. Those are the people I'm listening to, and every single one of them has all said the same thing, which is Ty Gibbs did nothing wrong. He was a little aggressive, yes. But you listen to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Steve Letarte on Sunday, they both said the same thing. It was like, he did nothing wrong. That's a pit stop. That's what you do. You try and gain an advantage. You try and enter your pit box maybe a little bit faster to gain those couple of tenths a second so you can get out on pit road and get track position. And I'm reading a tweet here from Bozy Taradovich, who is IMSA pit crew member. He was a mechanic with Legacy Motor Club as well. So he is kind of one of the big experts on this in terms of how pit crews go about things, how being a mechanic for these in motorsports. And he said this the other day. He said, I agree with Letarte that NASCAR made the right call. Gibbs had an aggressive entry through the number 6 pit stall, but it's the responsibility of the number 6 leadership to inform the carrier to stay close to the wall if they knew that the 54 was coming.
Oh, wow.
That's it. That's all this
so
comes down to.
they're both trying to get an advantage.
Yes.
Both teams are trying to get the advantage.
And that's what Denny Hamlin saw on his show, too. That this is what happens when you have teams who are trying to gain tenths. Every tenth matters.
Hundreds.
Yeah, exactly. This is what happens. And it was an accident. And for whatever reason, the tire carrier had a bad day and decided to go and shove the 54 pit crew. And that's the only reason we're talking about this. So NASCAR got this right. We've been very, very critical about NASCAR and their decision making in the recent months, but they nailed this. They did a great job with this, I think.
Have you seen all the video from that so far? We good?
Yep, that's everything I got. Yeah.
All right, because you talked about how fans have helped create the fervor for this conversation. They've also created it with SVG, where dudes done something that not a whole lot of drivers have done with the history of NASCAR, and not one, not two, but 3 freaking road course races in the Cup Series. And okay, then he's done the Xfinity Series. But people are still giving the guy shit about being a viable candidate to win the championship, or at least to make it in the playoffs. Even Brad Keselowski, as you said, Crasher, thinks there's too many road courses in the 2025 schedule.
I was going to say, watch how you back up your words, because Brad Keselowski's not saying anything negative about SVG.
Right.
But this conversation eventually comes to, does NASCAR have too many road courses now to allow an amazing talent like SVG to beat out the oval-only drivers that NASCAR was kind of founded on? And that goes into Brad Keselowski's tweet of, yeah, we might have too many. We might have too many road and street courses right now. Why are we thinking about San Diego or Philly or other places when we're fine? We're fine now. Don't you dare add any more.
Kelly Crandall, a great follow on X and a great read at racer.com, has a great article regarding SVG and how some folks just don't necessarily understand the significance of what this guy's doing. And I'm reminded constantly that he's a rookie.
It's crazy.
He's a freaking rookie.
I know.
And Richie, you made a comment where look at all those dudes that are within the top 16 for playoffs, right?
Yeah.
That haven't even sniffed a race win.
Yeah, Cody, we have if you can pull up the standings here and the playoff cut line. Okay, let's talk about this first. Yeah, we're just to set everything up, because I think this is an interesting conversation. So this is the playoff standings right now. If the playoff standings were to begin today, the playoffs are set based on your playoff points that you gather, which is, stage wins and race wins. That's how you get those. And there is more up for grabs to the regular season champion as well. I think you get 15 points as well, which is part of what helped Tyler Reddick get to the championship for last year. And look who's in third right now. Shane Van Gisbergen is tied for the Cup Series lead in race wins. He has 3. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell all have 3 as well. And Shane is third in the playoff points right now with 17 playoff points.
Wow.
And people will look at that and go, what are we doing here? And I look at that and I go, damn, that's just great driving. I'm sorry, but all 35 other drivers can have the same chance to win that race. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson is spinning out at Sonoma for the 15th time in a row and can't get that track right.
Still number 1.
Yeah. So that's the setup to the conversation. And then you look at the playoff cut line here and look at some of these names that's on this list and tell me which of these guys below the cut line are going to win a race. And Shane's won 3 of them.
You're talking just below the line, not above the line.
Yeah, so we're looking at, somebody we're looking at Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece, Kyle Busch, AJ Allmendinger, and Ty Gibbs.
You would think that AJ, again, anytime you put him in a race car on a road course, he's always one of my top 5 favorites.
Yeah.
But
how many road courses do we have left before the playoffs?
Watkins Glen.
Oh, we do have the Glen. Okay.
Yes.
So, yes, then AJ does have a chance. And I would say Kyle Busch has a chance if Daytona finally goes his way. But those are the only 2. Yeah.
Exactly. So my point being is why are we so mad about this when the whole point is if you're not first, you're last? Is to win races. Shane Van Gisbergen is one of the best drivers in NASCAR going out and getting wins right now with 3, right?
You can't argue that. That is true.
And you know what he's got, Crasher? Think about this. With those 3 race wins, he's in. He's in the playoffs. What this does for him as a rookie race car driver that has 0 wins on an oval, all these ovals that he's running are kind of like R&D. It's research and development for him.
Now they can.
And the race team.
You're right.
Right?
Before his win in Mexico, I would say that his mentality was, nor the team, they were not there at all. But I think now it's like, all right, let's pull back. All we have to do now is focus on the playoffs. So, yes, you're right. Every single oval can be, how do we make you better? How do we make your car better the way that you like it to be driven? So, yeah, I think you nailed it right there.
The 5th to the last race, just prior to round 8, it's a play-in race, or win it. How do we call it? What did it say?
Win and you're in?
Win and you're in race is the Roval.
Oh, sure. Wait, so where is this again?
This is before you get into round of 8.
Oh, okay.
So it's
in
round
the
12.
playoffs.
Yeah, it's in the playoffs.
Okay.
It's the first race of October 5th, at the Roval. And I just wish it was down in there like the second to the last race prior to Phoenix. But you've got the wild card of Talladega in there as the third to the last race. And then Martinsville, of course.
Hold on. Why do you wish it was that far closer to Phoenix?
Just, why did we create SpeedFreaks 25 years ago?
Well, hold on. No, why do you, though? I'm getting at a point here. Do you want Shane to be there and then win that Roval to get into the final race in Phoenix? Is
just
that what
to
you're saying?
rub it in their face.
Because I think he's going to have a hard, unless he learns something on some of these ovals sooner than later, I think he's going to have a hard time. He might get to the round of 8, but I don't think he's getting past that.
Well, he's got the shot on October 5th to move into the round of 8 with the Roval. Of all those guys, will you bring up that top 12 again? Of all those guys, I should ask freaking ChatGPT right now because they would give me an answer stat. But of all those guys on road courses, Bell, if they put a car underneath him,
Chase Elliott.
Yeah, Chase.
Chase recently.
And honestly, Cindric, remember Cindric at Coda? Not too shabby, even though had a little incident. But Logano's fine.
Briscoe was wicked fast at Sonoma, too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And Kyle. Yeah, there's enough there. There's enough there. I mean, we are getting the cream in. The cream has risen. The top 12, that's definitely who you want to see vying.
Yeah,
for the title.
Tyler Reddick, who has not won a race, so he's not on that top 12 list. He's at 10.6. Chase Elliott is at 9.8. Chris Buescher at 9.6. Shane Van Gisbergen 8.9. Christopher Bell 11.9. Those are their average finishes at road courses since 2022.
Watkins Glen. Don't you want SVG to go out there and win that?
Oh, absolutely.
I do.
Absolutely.
Right.
I do, because I want all the oval drivers to really cringe and be like, dude, he's got more points now in the playoffs. Yeah, I do.
Cody, the residential Larson snorkeler.
I would absolutely love to see SVG win Watkins Glen.
Okay.
What's going on here, man?
I'm very fond of that man. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Just because he's a Larson fan doesn't mean that he's not
Yeah,
an SVG fan.
I can have a little bias, but I can let it go too.
And he's old, losing his hair.
Yeah. He's balding. That's funny.
Knocks
That's great.
a freaking Australian rules football or rugby ball up in the stands.
And not one of our favorite drivers in IndyCar. I said not. I didn't mean to say not. Yes, one of our favorite drivers in IndyCar, Scott McLaughlin, is now giving him oval tips. So we'll see if some of those might play over. I know, totally different disciplines of driving, but we shall see.
I do want to make a correction. Apparently, I messed this up earlier. Sean in our chat is saying that Dale Jr. said that there was no reason to hit the guy with the tire carrier as on the part of Ty Gibbs. I messed it up.
But he still was within the rules.
But he was in the rules, yeah. So I messed it up. I thought Dale Jr. and Letarte said the same thing about that there was no issues with it. I messed it up. Dale Jr. apparently said that, yes, there was a little bit of a line crossing there. So my apologies. Thank you, Sean, for the keeping us on track here.
Hey, here's a little bit of trivia. I bet you guys can get it done between the three of you.
Great.
The Cup Series drivers that have won in a Red Bull car are?
Vickers.
Yeah,
Casey
Brian Vickers, Casey Kane, and Shane Van Gisbergen.
Okay.
Nice.
Kane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Four car.
11?
2011?
2011, he won it.
2000.
I think he won here in Phoenix, actually,
What was it?
in a Red Bull car.
I remember where
Woo.
it was.
Yeah.
I must have been drinking that day. Woo. I don't
It was a
remember that at
really
all.
sharp car. I'm surprised you missed it. Had red painted wheels to make the Bull logo run.
Right?
2011. Sorry. I missed that one.
I've gone 2 days without having alcohol. Feels pretty
I
damn
know, it's been
good.
pretty nice. Yeah. Oh, wait. Maybe I'm 1.5. Hold on. No, I'm 2.
Went and saw
Yeah.
freaking Jurassic Park.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cole's not here, so
I thought you've all seen it.
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But Cole's the big. He's the one who
He
showed up
is,
wearing
that's
Jurassic Park shirt, a nice like Jurassic Park like button down while you guys were gone.
Button.
Yeah, it was
The
gnarly.
guy looked really fly. Let's for a Jurassic Park outfit, he was
Dang.
looking sharp.
He looked Jurassically fly.
Oh yeah, there you go, Jurassically fly.
Wow.
We're going to see the Formula One movie and Superman here. And then the bad guys.
Bad Guys 2.
Bad
Yeah.
Guys 2.
Did you guys? Oh, you guys
And the
got.
bad
Are you on the AMC A list now?
We
found out something last night was badass.
Tuesday, Wednesday, 50% off
Yeah,
AMC.
dog.
That's what we did. Yes. I let my A-list expire, but we're still at AMC whatever, and we still get, even though we're not the A-list, we still get that 50% off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We just need to make a movie work tonight. Let's do it. Because we took advantage. Let's just be honest. The reason we took advantage of it last night, a horrible Arizona driver, knocked out our power pretty much the entire first half of our neighborhood at around 5 o'clock last night. So we said, we're not cooking dinner because that'd be too hot. It's way too hot outside. Let's go get dinner. We happened to get dinner at a place right next to the theater. We're like, let's go see a movie too. That's how Jurassic Park came about. That's how we learned about 50% off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's why we might go to another movie tonight.
Since Cole's not here to ask, what did Henley think?
Oh, she liked it. She liked it a lot.
She give it a 10 or
No,
9?
she gave it a 9. And then I said, well,
It's
Henley,
perfect for 11-year-old.
It's perfect
man.
for 11-year-old.
There's just a little too much cheese corn in there for me.
There's
Superman's the same way, man.
Oh, really? There's cheese corn in Superman?
It's
Well, but it's supposed to be, right?
it is. It's comic book.
That's why I'm looking forward to it.
It's like it's. I mean, I could go on an hour rant about
don't
it
need to.
because I'm a nerd, but like it is like the perfect movie. The way I describe it is like if it came out when I was 11 or 12, it would have been my favorite movie.
Yeah.
As a full-grown adult, it's not quite what I want for my superhero storytelling anymore. But like if you're a young adult,
But it's not
you'll love it.
dark like some of the other.
No.
This
This
is
is-
more Christopher Reeve-esque where there's some levity to it,
Yes.
right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It's James Gunn. It's actually it's
yeah.
really funny. It's really funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's funny.
Or as they say in
yay.
Brazil, James Gunn. Great interview with him and Dax Shepard with Armchair Experts that they did address that issue with James Gunn and social media back in the day and certainly cleared some things up in that conversation.
Speaking of Dax Shepard, did he really share a naked photo of his wife? Because to celebrate an Emmy? Did I see that today?
Oh.
Speaking of not reading past the headlines.
I missed Blunt.
No. It's, what's her name?
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
Either or.
Cody.
Anyway, we did get a super chat
Right.
on our YouTube page. Sean gave us $4.99.
Sean?
Shout out
Said,
Sean.
Nice.
referring to the Brad Keselowski tweet about road courses and
Right.
Shane Van Gisbergen conversation, said Brad could get better. Just don't blame Shane just because you're bad at them.
Well, isn't that what we alluded to?
Yeah.
The fact that he was bitching and moaning about all these road courses? Like,
Yeah.
bitch, you see what's going on. You know what your schedule is. Just get better. Hey, when you and Cody go after it on, I don't know, whatever video game that you're playing, what's the ratio of road courses versus ovals that you guys run on?
100% road
Yeah,
course.
we mostly race Formula One. That's all
Right.
road courses. Yeah.
Oh.
I would like to say it is a 50-50 split on wins and losses, though.
Uh-oh.
Like, seriously straight down the middle?
No,
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need a running scoreboard of you guys somewhere in the studio.
I was having a conversation with someone in South Padre Island a week and a half ago, and he did not believe me that
Oh, boring?
William Boring, got his chops all on video and earned his way into a freaking cup ride and is a pretty badass freaking driver. Still boring as hell, but did not believe me, and I forced him to look it up, saying, it's here, man. He goes, like, bro, it is here. It is here where you can, again, earn your ride in the Big Boy Cup Series by kicking ass online.
Raja Caruth as
Yep.
well, somebody who kind of got his start in the iRacing world, has won multiple truck races. He's going to be racing in the Xfinity Series coming up.
Yes. For who? I saw that come out last night.
I can't remember off the top of my head. So,
yeah.
Chad, if you
The
can.
35 car,
30,
I
it is the
think?
35, yes. But yeah, so he's moving on up in the world.
Sweet.
iRacing guy. So
Another guy, Miles Rowe, who's kicking ass. We had him on a couple of years ago.
I talked to him in St. Louis this year,
Right.
St. Louis IndyCar weekend. Yes.
Miles Rowe, who won his first NXT race, next race?
Yes.
What the hell do they call that?
Indy next.
Indy Next. They put the damn E in there. Don't
No,
jack me
because
up.
old people like you will say, it's supposed to be spelled
But
differently.
go
No.
capital N, little E, capital X, big T.
Even our cat disagrees. No, Indy next.
I don't know. How did we get off on this? Oh,
Talking about video games as a great training ground.
It's like me standing over or sitting over here in this chair, bitching and moaning that. Why are we on TV? Just adapt to where we are in 2025, you old bastards. You can still be old, but you can still be a hipster when it comes to what you think and how you talk and who you hang with.
Get Amazon Prime. I won't buy Apple TV Plus.
I miss Amazon Prime, but I don't miss that argument.
I don't miss that argument either.
Right.
But man, that TV production was good.
Yes, it was very good.
We definitely missed that.
What a privilege.
Yes.
Richie, I was online today.
Okay, cool.
What the young kids like to do.
Yeah.
Was online, got out of my orthopedic
TikTok
meeting, and I've been a part of FIFA.com email list for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Do we get tickets?
And the tickets don't drop until I think September 10th. Okay, where the general public get to jump in for some World Cup tickets. But what they were releasing were these party packages, and we know what group the U.S., Mexico, Canada are in. We just don't know who's in with them, okay?
Right.
I believe the U.S. is in the D group. Doesn't mean anything to a lot of people out there, but
Better not be the group of death. So go ahead. Yeah.
and and they're going to play at Santa Clara, and they're going to play at Seattle. I think they play all their games on the West Coast, and maybe one in Houston. I don't know, whatever. Man, I had 3 tickets, bam, ready to go with this Pavilion Party Pass, and it's a Visa-sponsored.
Oh, no.
I've got 3 visas.
Oh, you do?
And this card, for some reason, a-hole, it's not matching up. I tried every freaking card I had. I don't know what my point is here.
Well, we usually go with MasterCards because that's where all our travel stuff is. American, Hilton. Oh, man. So we don't have 3 party passes.
No, but we know. We'll be able to rig the system.
I'm looking at the schedule for next year while you formulate your thoughts. So they are in Group D, and they're playing at SoFi Stadium.
They kick it off there, right?
Yeah, SoFi Stadium, June 12th.
Right.
They're playing in Seattle, and then they're back at SoFi Stadium on the 26th anniversary of this show,
Bang.
June 25th, 2026, at SoFi Stadium.
We ought to just do what do you kids call those things where you just watch something and talk about it?
Oh, watch along?
Maybe we ought to just do a watch along.
Yeah. Oh, we can't do
I'm
that.
going to need
dude.
a serious lesson before we have any kind of watch along, though.
There's no chance.
Goal 2.
No chance. I was watching the U.S.-Mexico Gold Cup final with these two, and that was the Gold Cup when we were playing a bunch of nobodies who I've never heard of on the U.S. men's national team roster. And that was a stressful experience trying to watch that game with you two. I can't imagine watching the final game of the group.
Yeah. It's a play and it's a win and you're in.
Yeah.
And it's against freaking Croatia.
We're not doing a watch along. We're going to be there. We are going to be there. Yes.
I would love to go if you
Happy
could
anniversary.
give me cheap tickets.
6 tickets, yes, because it's all y'all and Henley. Yeah.
These tickets were a little bit more than our freaking Ohio State Longhorns tickets.
Well, you still haven't told me what those are.
I don't need to.
Labor Day weekend. What were they in comparison to my Super Bowl ticket when the Broncos won the 50th Super Bowl?
Listen, we can still have an addition to the side of this house.
That is BS. I did not know. I got Von Miller's tickets, not quite straight from him, but just one aftermarket later. It wasn't that bad.
Let's don't share it with everybody, okay?
Well,
let's don't do that.
Somebody's going, hey, look, there we go. Somebody wants to come and chat.
There it is.
The cat has entered the chat.
Bam! That's a great shot.
Omar, your
Don't
butt.
show his face.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Your butt's going to show.
There we go.
Dude.
That's so great.
I wish we had the overhead shot now so we could see him just
Speaking of, he's
walking
named
around.
after a soccer player. I think a Saudi player. Look up Omar Sadiq. O-M-A-R-S-U.
S-A-D-I-K, I think.
I think it's Sadiq. S-U-D-I-Q. Omar Sadiq.
Or S-A-D-I-Q.
Played somewhere in the Middle East. Is that right, Richard?
Umar Sadiq. Yeah. Spelled with a U, is a Nigerian professional footballer.
There we go.
Plays for Real Sociedad.
Still plays?
Yeah.
We need to get you a kitty
When we
cat
adopted
soccer
him, that was
union.
his name was Omar Sadiq. It's named after a soccer player.
We thought that's a sign.
Yeah. So, hey, man, coming up on Friday, speaking of, Vin Diesel celebrates his 58th birthday. And we were on the Fast and Furious train early. When the first movie came out, we were with another tire company. And they had title rights to the first show.
The first several.
Right? And we part of the premieres and so forth and so on. And listen, we were talking about sport compact drag racing, street racing early on with SpeedFreaks. And
you and I were the TV hosts.
Right. When
they went to ESPN and ESPN2, you and I were the two TV hosts. With Bruno Massel, who's now an NHRA pit reporter on Fox. But yeah, it was the three of us, and we would...
We need to show some of those, as we flash back for this entire year for 25 years, some of those bikini parties. Okay, we had the drag racing show for 30 minutes, and then we had the, what did they call it?
Oh, what did they call it?
The Sony Explode something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting title.
Yeah.
For a bikini party.
Well, Sony Explode was a speaker that sponsored it, but yes,
they know
right.
what they were doing in the marketing department.
Yeah, totally, completely.
We should, if we do it, we should do it on hump day, because this stuff airing on Racer at 12 o'clock, lunchtime, I don't know. Maybe we should.
It's your call.
Right? So Vin Diesel, in 2009, him and a number of the wigs with the franchise put out a short film called Los Bandoleros, and it debuted at Universal City Walk in Southern California, in Universal City, right? And I had a chance to catch up with Vin Diesel, and it's not too often you get to ask Vin Diesel this one question. And I remember when they were editing this piece, Crasher. You'll see your reaction to it.
Oh, mine too. Okay.
Yeah. When you get to talk to Vin Diesel about bowel movements, you clinch up.
Well, he's human too.
Yeah. 2009, as we flash back, celebrating 25 years of SpeedFreaks. Yours truly, with Vinny D.
Brief flashback. 25 years of SpeedFreaks. God damn.
Let's go! Kenny Sargent with SpeedFreaks. Bandoleros, Los Bandoleros opening up. Now, was this one of those deals where you said, I want to do something for the initiation for the Blu-ray and the DVD, or did they say, look, Vin, we want you to do this for us?
They said, look, Vin, we want you to do this for us. We want you to go down to the Dominican Republic and shoot this movie.
Have I arrived just in time for an adventure?
Freddie, you always get here just in time for something.
Being the franchise for Fast and Furious, it's street cred with this crowd, and it's having street cred. Are you basically saying that? Hey, look, Kenny, I've got street cred. That's why they wanted me to do Los Bandoleros?
Well, I got street cred. I got more street cred than I can afford. But I think that they wanted me to do Los Bandoleros because of, I guess, my take on where we were going with the direction of Fast and Furious. If you notice, even in the cameo in Tokyo Drift, we're in Tokyo with the whole movie, and when I come on to screen, there's a reggaeton song playing. I mean, it's pretty clear that, you know, we have an idea where we're going, even back then, and the cameo.
I'll block you, you can't see. What are you gonna do? Oh my God, we're gonna crash. Oh no, what's gonna happen?
We've been talking about sport compacts, import drag racing, whatever you want to say, for the last 10 years. We know all about it, and that was our concern going into this. Like, okay, who's this cast? Are they going to get the shift points right? Are they going to have the logos in the place, the right rubber on the car?
Yeah, all that authenticity that helps you to really escape in that world. That's really a testament to our crew. We got the best crew in the world. They really live it. They have, you know, warehouses of 100+ cars that, you know, I think we wrecked like 190 of them. But we have hundreds of cars. It's just, yeah. But the guys that we have pay attention to that kind of detail in a good way.
You sure you want to do this?
A lot has changed.
4,
You're right.
3, 2.
Can you squeeze another one out? I'm talking about a movie.
Yeah. Yes, we can if we approach it with the same integrity that we did this one.
Okay, I really thought you were going to have a poop conversation.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, how many have they had? You said, can you squeeze another one out? I think they've squeezed 10 more out since then.
There's been 10 total. The 11th is working its way toward production.
Wow.
As we speak, yeah.
All right, kids, you're familiar with one of the greatest chase scenes ever with Steve McQueen and Bullet. Please, come on, just say you are, Richie.
I've seen bits and pieces. I've never seen the full movie.
If you compare it to today,
Just the scene.
Just the scene.
Yeah, just the
Talk
scene.
about shift points. They're going through the streets of San Francisco, and they're going third to fourth, and you can tell definitely they're slowing down. They're going, brr, brr, but they're going. They got some shift points wrong in the movie Bullet. I'd be curious if you put this out on X. Maybe do we do this Sunday, or do we preface it with some of this video? Would you rather have the 68 Ford Mustang and Bullet, the GT Fastback, or Vin Diesel's 70 Dodge Charger? Which one of those cars would you rather?
Oh, damn. Let's do that now and talk about the results Sunday. Oof. So what and what? Vin Diesel's Charger.
Vin Diesel,
and what was the other one?
I mean, those exact cars. He had the blower coming out of the hood and the exact freaking car. 70 Dodge Charger or the 68 Ford Mustang Fastback. Oof. What are you going for?
I'm a Mustang. I'd go Mustang for me, but
Would you wash that car?
no, absolutely not. No, I told you, man. It's I'm anti-capitalist here, so we don't wash my car at all.
That's right. He hates car washes.
Yeah.
What? But you would wash it with Lucas Oil Slick Mist, right?
A little clean, you know. Yeah, gotta keep it shiny once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cody, what would you do?
I'm going to take the Charger, and I will keep it pristinely washed, waxed, detailed. I'll have somebody on speed dial.
Those cars are just freak.
Kenny,
Again,
you'd go the Challenger too, or yeah, Challenger, right? Not Charger, Challenger.
I don't know. We've said them both
Charger.
too many times now. I'm getting them confused now.
We have the chat right now between Blake and Glenn. Glenn, 70 Dodge. Blake going with the Hemi. Never have owned a Ford and won't right now.
Hey, listen now. Ford's all right. Okay.
right? Yeah, put that out. However, we're going to put that out on X. Be sure to follow us at SpeedFreaks on X. I am curious, and it gives us a tie-in with Vin Diesel's birthday.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we save it for Friday,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
right? Do we save it for Friday?
Meanwhile, viewers now get a heads up.
Okay. I'm
can
torn,
start
man. The
salivating now.
freaking nose of that Dodge is bananas, but the backside of that freaking Mustang, man, it sounds like I'm talking about a couple different broads.
I was going to say, that's what she said.
Either or, right?
It would have to be Steve McQueen and Bullet, because that's, again, I was 5 years old when that movie came out, but as a kid that was lucky to learn how to drive a freaking tricycle at 5, watching them go through the streets of San Francisco, and there's some vermin sunglass wearing tool. Sorry, I'm digging deep into the son of a gun. How much did that car go for?
You are. You're salivating. You're just looking
The
at things on
car
your
from
computer.
Bullet sold for $3.4 million in 2020.
I wonder if they resold it now, how much more it would go. Woof.
I feel like that's actually low for memorabilia.
Absolutely, but it was 2020. Wait, part of 2020? Like, had we been affected by the vid
This
yet?
is January 2020.
Before the vid got too
Steve
deep into
McQueen
America.
insisted on doing much of his own stunt driving, adding to the car's coolness. 2 Mustangs were used in the movie, one for stunts and one for close-up shots. Yeah, 3.4.
Meanwhile, Vin Diesel uses 190. They blew up. Is that what he said?
He said there's a crap ton. Right. Freak Nation, hey, Cody, how was it? You all right?
What do you mean? How was it?
At the last 55 minutes.
Being on camera for the first time? It's
Yeah.
just like hanging out with you
Right.
any other day.
Yep.
Yes, good.
Now we just got technology looking at me.
Are we going to do the Sundays too?
Turn to your left and ask him.
Yeah.
I need to talk to SpeedFreaks board of directors. Okay.
Basically, everybody in this room.
In that case, I'll go ahead and just say I'll be on here on Sunday then.
Copy.
All right.
Cool. We're going to be out of jail by Sunday?
Yeah, because he's going to be reporting from Dover. Wouldn't that be awesome if he does get out in time? But if he, jails are so cool now. They might let him do a show from the cell.
What?
No.
Jails are so cool now. Hey, kids, doesn't mean you should go break the law tonight. Say what Blame Kenny said on SpeedFreaks on YouTube.
Is that a nightstick? Or are you just excited to see me?
Ew.
All good. But yes, okay, so now we'll have 5 windows on the show.
Have you guys seen Sinners yet?
Hell yeah.
Oh, my God. I am freaking...
But you watched it at home, right? You didn't watch it in theaters?
I watched it on my iPad.
Oh, my God.
Suck it. Richie, but I got home, and I listened to the soundtrack on the... So the soundtrack is just a kick in the nuts for me.
It is. I can't
Holy
wait. I can't wait to buy the vinyl when it comes out later this year.
Evidently, it's out. It's not. Oh,
it's on pre-order.
Yeah, okay.
But it's back ordered, so you can't buy it.
Just Miles Caton.
He's awesome.
Holy, where do I know him?
No, this is his first ever movie role. Isn't that crazy?
How old?
Wow.
He had to learn.
20.
He had to learn how to play the guitar for this movie. Yeah.
And a steel guitar. He's not. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That whole soundtrack. Are you kidding me? I am really a big Michael B. Jordan fan.
Yep.
If you didn't know that he was playing both the brothers in Sinners, I just saw some flaws. There was just some pauses and so forth that were a little awkward because he was playing both the characters. But regardless, holy smokes, that was badass.
That's on the editors. That's not on Michael B.
So I finished Penguin. Enjoyed that, which
Great
made
show.
me go back and watch Batman.
The Batman, awesome.
Which is, like my buddy pointed out, reminded me of The Crow, the way that whole thing was situated. Because I didn't understand what Penguin was referring to in a couple of instances in the series. Yeah. And are you kidding me? Colin Farrell as the freaking Penguin? Holy crap!
Mm-hmm.
Talk about excellent casting.
Yeah, I think he's like second most nominated, or the show second most nominated. Yeah. For Emmys.
Correct.
So I did that. Saw Penguin, finished that up. And so much so, I just couldn't wait to get Henley to bed so I could finish it. That. I watched Sinner, and then freaking Heretic. Holy smokes. You see Heretic?
I have not yet. I've not seen it.
It does.
I haven't even heard you talk about that one yet.
I was watching it, because you were sleeping on the damn plane.
Of course. I always do.
I still can't believe you're watching Sinners on your iPad, bro.
I had it. Listen, I downloaded it and needed something to watch. The freaking choice on American Airlines is Bush, so I just put them on my iPad.
They've only got 100 movies to choose from, but they're all Bush.
And I was reluctant. The trailer doesn't do Sinners any justice, does it?
I
took
agree.
A flyer on it.
Yeah.
You know why I took a flyer on it? Because they kept talking about the soundtrack, and I'm a big blues guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah, it's a movie that I saw it for the first time opening night, 70 millimeter IMAX.
Ooh.
At the over here at Arizona Mills, and it was like one of the coolest theater experiences I've had in a long time. And so the fact that you're watching that movie, which was so beautifully shot, entirely with IMAX cameras, the cinematographer of this movie is the first ever female cinematographer to hand hold an IMAX camera. And those things are not, they're heavy. They've gotten much, much lighter. And yeah, so she was the first ever female cinematographer to hand hold an IMAX camera. So the fact that you're watching that movie on an iPad, just, man.
Some credit, Skip Dick.
It's a great movie. It's an awesome movie, but it's meant to be watched on in 4K on the big screen or on the biggest TV possible, not on your iPad.
She's not a big in this Crash. You don't take this the wrong way. It's not a big zombie movie, but there's kind of zombie-age in there. but it's the metaphors, it's the purpose of these zombies.
Vampires.
Excuse me, vampires.
There's a difference.
Well, vampires that I freaking knew back in the day bite you in the neck. They don't bite you on the freaking back.
And they don't do a circle of.
Yeah.
I don't wanna, yeah. Yeah, they don't do a song and dance.
We'll
number.
watch it on a very large screen with a very large audio system. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Are you saying we're getting a new TV?
And Rotten Tomatoes gave it 97%. So it's Rotten Tomatoes that sold me, and the soundtrack.
That Rotten. Whoa. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's ginormous for them.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Got to get the hell out of here. Freak Nation, we'll do it again on Sunday for Speed Freaks on the Freak Radio Network, on YouTube, Facebook. And if you miss it there, you can catch us on Racer Network, 12 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Monday. Cole Cusimano reporting from the Who's Gal, just outside of Dover Speedway. He'll be there. Hey, look, Bob Pockgrass isn't there. He's covering IndyCar this weekend. So someone has to cover for Pockgrass. So our man Cole Cusimano.
He's go.
We'll be covering it for Bob Pockgrass.
Cole promised us that he would come back with some plushies for everybody. So Miles the Monster plushies.
Dang.
Yeah.
Gonna write it off, put it on his freaking expense report.
Let's hope he does.
It is a business expense. It is, especially if it goes up in the studio here.
True.
Decor.
All right, so we'll have the IndyCar winner. We'll have your NASCAR Cup Series winner joining us here in the Freak Nation.
Hopefully we'll have an NHRA winner. Aren't they in Seattle this weekend?
Yeah. Big motorsports
Huge weekend.
Yes. Freak Nation. All right, let's say goodbye, Cody.
Bye.
Bye, Cody.